the official podcast of the Jacksonville Public Library.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Hurley.
Welcome back, everyone.
It's a beautiful Monday, and oh my goodness, we have the best guest ever.
This
on
was
the show today.
my favorite interview we've ever done.
Yes.
It was so fun.
Yes. Who is our guest today, Jenna?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know. Okay, so this is WWE Diva Alicia Fox.
That's right, folks. We are talking about some wrestling today.
Yes.
And this lady, oh my gosh, she's just the coolest.
So nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We had so much fun. We hit it off right away. And I'll tell the story in the beginning, but of how we found her on Instagram. She called us out and we called her back, and here she is interviewing on her podcast. So nuts.
Yep.
She was the best. So we'll let her explain who she is and how we got to know her. So here is a WWE Diva Alicia Fox. Yeah, this is the ultimate match everyone's been waiting for.
I know, right?
Jack's Library versus Alicia Fox. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for coming. We're like geeking out.
Oh, Jenna, you're so sweet. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You girls are so kind.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about how, our Instagram battle is infamous now, obviously.
Oh, yes.
And this is what happens when you call us out on Instagram.
I was completely floored. I'm like, they're spicy. I told my friend, like, Mickey, the library just tweeted me back. Like, everyone at work was like, they did what? They were so like starstruck. I was like, I know.
We were like contemplating what to say back to you forever, and then we're like refreshing it. Like, I hope she responds.
We'll set the scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell our listeners who didn't see it what happened.
Okay, so Hurley and I monitor all the social media for Jack's Library, aka follow us all on
What two rad chicks
at Jack's Library. And so we get this mention on Instagram, and the Foxy one is like, how can I have such a large fine at the public library? $50? I mean, how many people still use their library card? Well, first of all, how dare you?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Everyone uses the library.
I know.
So obviously we had to hit her back. And so we say, maybe we should settle this in the ring. You win, we waive the fine. We win, you come interview on our podcast, completely booked. Yes. So everyone can see who won. Because you're on our podcast.
Here we are.
So Jack's Library.
Yes, go to Jack's Library.
Alicia Fox.
That is so funny. Completely booked.
Completely
1, 2, 3.
booked.
Yes. Book champion.
So funny.
So awesome. You guys are so sweet.
Oh my gosh. We were floored though. I was like, she has over 1 million followers on Instagram and she's mentioning us. Yeah. Little old Jack's Library.
What is happening?
I know. Like 11,000 likes later. Can't believe it. Yeah. That's nuts.
I was completely floored that you guys even responded. I'm like, oh my God. And they sound cool. I'm like, Sassan. Oh God.
Yeah.
So funny.
Proof the library is still cool, guys.
It is.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming, and we're so excited to learn more about what you do and how you went. So you grew up in Ponte Vedra.
I did. I graduated from Nice in 2004. Yes. Go Panthers. Yes. And then it wasn't so much as that I was trying to pursue a wrestling career, or as we're mentioned as sports entertainers. But in high school, I went blind in my left eye for about 3 years. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting challenge trying to keep my academics up, and my parents are very like education. So I figured I was gonna go to school, blah blah blah, and then after I recovered from losing my eyesight, which the clinics at Mayo Clinic or the doctors at Mayo Clinic were really helpful, right here in Jacksonville. I suffered from acanthamoeba, which was a very rare parasite eating. Just straight. I had a scratch in my eye from wearing contacts because I wanted to be cool, get rid of glasses. And then overnight, this parasite got in my eye, and the next morning I woke up completely blind. So it was very surprising.
Wow, that's nuts.
That's terrifying.
Journey. It was interesting, but it led me to really having an interest in optometry. So that was my dream. I thought I was going to be an ophthalmologist. So while trying to continue my studies, my mom was a single mother, and then after not being able to academically perform due to my injury in high school, I went to, not saying community college was bad or anything, but it was just kind of not where I thought what I thought. So I was kind of here in Jacksonville, like going with the flow. Whereas then I met my dear, I reference him as an uncle, Lou Maggio, who got me my career and my in with WWE. And I was 17 years old. So I'm really kind of fresh, baby fresh in the world, and got the opportunity to figure out, hey, what's, you know, as young girls who have no wrestling experience. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with it. Do you want to try and see what we got, or, you know, figure this out? Because they were in a transition period where they were trying to teach young girls new tricks, their tricks, like, but not so much as from like the grizzly, like, you know, when people who aren't really familiar with the product mention, they're like, oh, I always thought a female wrestler would be just this jacked girl and spandex onesie. And I'm like, no, we're all different shapes and sizes. That's what makes our division so beautiful. But at the time, we were looking more on like the model chicks, you know.
Right.
So my girlfriend Kelly and I, she's a Jacksonville local too. We went down and just started training, and then 13 years later, we're sitting here in the library talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah. So
that's nuts. And you said you're like the longest running one, right?
Consecutive signed talent in history, or at least female talent in history. Yeah.
Man, that's
it went so fast. And but thinking about my 17-year-old self, like what would I tell, or either, you know, the conversation I would have with him is like, definitely go for it. But it's amazing because as an adult, I'm kind of looking back on my 17-year-old self for confidence to figure out what I'm going to do for my next chapter. You know, because like when you leave high school, you're so young, you have no experience. And I feel as though WWE has given me the opportunity to gain a ton of experience in so many things I never, business, marketing, talking, speaking to people, just loving, just going with the flow of things, you know, that I think in my next chapter, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, oh my God, well, am I going to have a normal, how am I going to be Victoria Crawford again?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, not that I don't disconnect the two, but it's just like, okay, so now that I'm going to try and start a zine, I'm going to try and start some projects here. You know, like, I'm nervous. I'm real nervous.
Yeah, it's just like the original nerves you would have, like, as an 18-year-old trying to discover this. It's just like later on in life that you're starting it. That's
I feel like a life baby again.
Right. Well, it's exciting times too. You know, a new chapter is always exciting. Can be scary too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned, I want to talk about this. You mentioned wrestling school.
Yeah.
So this is a thing that happens. So tell us about this.
What do you learn there?
Moves and things, and psychology, the history, how to understand the culture of wrestling, which is great. You get to learn how to be not just a professional, but a professional athlete in a sense of entertainment. It's kind of like, we're kind of like unicorn superstars, maybe, because we, as 1099s, we have no choice but to learn how to business and be an entrepreneur. So, like, the structure, you know, has to be like established. Then being politically correct, you want to be friendly with, you know, in that environment. And, like, you can't make people feel uncomfortable, or, like, you know, so you learn to keep your comments to yourself on a professional level, and then still, well, if you're in a situation that you're like, well, why does she have to win? Or whatever it is, that's just like very surface level problems. But I'm just saying, like, you know, we take a lot of pride in taking care of each other in the ring, because we take our training very seriously, because since it is entertainment, there's still this huge risk of physical injury. You know, there's all types of things that I've seen happen. I've seen my friends experience in the ring happen. I've experienced random, like, quick trick change things. Someone gets hurt. Like, it's just like, it's knowing how to, you know, being able to protect yourself, the brand, the craft, the art, perform, be a business, keep your emotional together, get on the road, and know that you're not going to be home for, who knows, sometimes you can count how many days you are home before
Yeah.
gone. And then come home, get your rest, go to the gym, and then learn how to cook dinner. Like one of those, like the dinner part is gonna have to suffer. Okay, Uber Eats.
Yeah. Lifesaver. Gosh, that's so much. Yeah, it's almost like a basic training type of stuff. You're learning everything that there is, like the whole business side of it. Man, yeah, I didn't think about that whole thing too.
The weird thing is you kind of learn these bullet points, whereas when you get into normal life, you're able to put those bullet points to work. And I think that's what I enjoy the most about my journey so far. It's like, I don't have all the answers, but if I had like taken the proper notes in like wrestling school or like mini-me school, then I can better, use them for tools when they come random times, so it's like,
right.
That's kind of where my headspace is.
Right. A lot of juggling.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
And I played a sport in college. So like we had stuff where we had to do life skills is what they called it. And we did financial training,
really,
interview skills, etiquette. Yeah. So it was similar, like especially as a freshman, like you had to go through this whole series of like, we had to do interview skills, like interview for jobs and stuff, like a whole well-rounded type thing. 'Cause, as athletes, people think that, you're just there to do a sport, which is what they were trying to get you out of the mindset of. Like, you need to know that there's life beyond this, too.
Yeah, that is so good.
Yeah, it was so very helpful. I loved it. And you talked a little bit about Victoria Crawford, Alicia Fox. So what was it like coming into your, like, ring persona? Or I don't even know what to call it.
Right. Also, how did you get your name?
Well, at the time when I first got on the road, there was this one of the writers named Big Dick Johnson. I don't know if I can say. Well, I won't say his name again, but because of the D part. But either way, he was just kind of like a brainstorm. It was a 30-second brainstorm. It was kind of like, oh, well, I like Alicia Keys and Foxy Brown. Okay, Alicia Fox. Yeah. It was kind of like,
okay,
all right, let's do it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it similar? Is it like is it your personality for the most part? Yeah.
At first it was kind of trying to figure out, how does Alicia Fox perform? Like, what does she do that gets really angry or react? And then at this time, I think I was on the road about 5 or 6 years. Had a regular Monday going out through the stage area. We call it Gorilla. For my match, and Vince pulled me aside and he was like, hey, like, what if after your match you just ripped up like the turnbuckles and like just went crazy, like just like I don't know, just ripped the ring apart. Like it was kind of like okay, like I kind of don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna do what I think I'm thinking, and I'm like, gotcha, okay. Walk out, have my match. At this point, I don't think, obviously my opponent didn't really know, because we're kind of like, hey, I almost wanted to say, hey, Vince just told me I get to rip up this place after our match, but obviously there's no, this is a competitive situation now.
Yeah.
You'll see you later. Mm-hmm. Had the match, did that, and it was so fun because I was able to reach out in the crowd and toss sodas everywhere, like popcorn, like scream like a nut, and that kind of really established now I wouldn't say crazy, but the eccentric, maybe very high energy, destructive, creatively destructive Alicia Fox persona. So then being put in like situations like in skits and stuff where I could have a little bit of crazy, or like, whereas if I say we're going through a breakup or the girls didn't want me in the ring or like whichever it was, we could bit and piece like parts of that persona in our art language in a sense, so then it kind of helped me refine like how crazy, and what it just kind of helped me gauge my boundaries or barriers on like what it was. And so it's been an interesting process.
Yeah. And what about your finisher, your signature finisher, the Foxy Buster, I think it's called?
Yeah, that I kind of change the name every now and then. Like right now I'm kind of like in a tail of a fox, but I'm not sure. But I do a couple. I'd probably have like 3 moves maybe. But the axe kick, which is fun because I'm able to jump high and split. That's really fun. But my ultimate favorite move would probably be my Northern Light suplex. It's like a back bridge, which
yes, that's what I thought the Foxy Buster was when I was looking it up.
We can keep it that way.
That one is so cool. It's like a full back bend.
Yeah,
right?
I enjoy doing that one the most.
Oh my god.
Just because you can do it out, and it's just fun. That's probably my favorite. I mean, there's a lot of things I like to do in there, but yeah, that
one's so cool. And in our thorough stalking of you for research purposes, obviously.
Yes. We watched a lot of highlight reels.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Man, we scoured YouTube. It was so fun. We also learned a couple wrestling terms. So
awesome.
So which do you prefer, being a baby face or a heel?
I love being a heel, which is a bad guy for those that don't know. Because you can do whatever you want, Yeah. You're the boss in there.
So do they say like you're gonna be the baby face, you're gonna be the heel? Is that how it works, sort of?
I guess maybe when you're starting out, but sometimes naturally people react to you the way they want, and like it's almost inevitable. You can't there's some of my friends that can go out there and really try to put on the good guy, and the people just are like not having it.
That's not what they want to see.
So then they're just like, yeah, having it.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I would consider myself a heel because I like to cheat and things. But from when I come out nowadays, like, I think people are just kind of excited to see they want to figure out what is the unexpected. Like, what is she going to do today?
Yeah.
Like, depending on my opponent. Fortunately, I feel confident working with any of those girls in the ring. They're all so awesome. They bust their butts. We all bust our butts as a division. And I mean, obviously, since you've been stalking, I'm sure you saw the Evolution pay-per-view that it was an first all-female pay-per-view that we've had.
That's
and
amazing.
And we can't believe it either.
Yeah.
Like, how are we still hearing, like Hurley was saying, how are we still hearing of these firsts?
Yeah. That was such an awesome opportunity for us as females in the division, because a lot of people have old ideas of what the female role in wrestling is, whether it's balleting or if it's like, the Attitude Era, but we really work hard to establish the idea of the groundbreaking female, and she is so many shades of a million colors. Like, we have a lot of athletes like Charlotte Flair, who's Ric Flair's daughter, but she works her butt. She is an all-day athlete. Then we have like special entertainers like Becky Lynch's, who've been wrestling on the indies for many years. And then there's legends like Mickie James, Beth Phoenix, girls that I've been fortunate to Natalia, girls that I've been working in the ring with for many years that come from such a long history of experience of our industry. Then there's girls like the Bella Twins and Maurice, and myself and Kelly. Us girls fall into the model type turned at Eve Torres, turned wrestler or sports entertainer. So it's like, it takes a lot of us to pull it together, but it makes us so rich in culture and something that we can leave like a legacy for the girls coming after and to come back to. Like, they're like at Evolution, I honestly had the most. At the same time, like, it was kind of like, you know what? This is the top of my career. I think right now I've done it. The only thing now I want to do is get the tag team titles and get champion a couple times, But of course. But at the moment, like, this was the most monumental match. It was myself, Mickie James, with our girlfriend Alexa Bliss, versus Trish Stratus and Lita. And they're two legends that I, at nowhere in my career, past, present, or future, would have thought I would have been able to exchange in such a huge moment in like our female division and Evolution. So it's been like, Evolution meant a lot to all of us girls because we didn't just evolve as a division, but we evolved as individuals, and we had no choice but to evolve because our opponents, they were all from all type. We all shared a very cool spiritual, like, let's kick this thing's butt kind of moment, and that was really something not forget.
Wow. Yeah, I know it's crazy that was the first, but I'm so glad that stuff is, finally coming to light for the female division. That's
Thank you.
So awesome. Yeah, congratulations. And you were also the first African American champion.
Yeah, well, Divas champion. Yeah, I know. That was a young little Fox, but that was an honor too. That was kind of my first like, hey, guess what? Wake up, kind of thing, because I had just gotten on the road, so didn't know what I was really nervous,
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on that little girl, I would have just probably taken myself a little less seriously and not been so nervous, and just really went out and maybe been less afraid of falling forward or just falling at all. But I mean, it's definitely part of my evolution, so I'm very proud of it as well.
Yeah, that's so cool. And tell us a little bit about being on the road. This seems like such a hectic schedule. What is that like?
Okay. Being on the road, once I get to where we need to go, I'm fine. But it's going to the airport that gets on my nerves. I mean, and our airport, Jacksonville airport's great, but it's just the traveling is where work for me is. It's not when we finally get there and we're going from show to show. That's the breeze. That's what we need to do. That's what I came to do. But traveling on the road entails, for us, we usually fly out like Friday mornings, and I live in Neptune, so that means if I have a 6 a.m. flight, I have to leave my house by 4.
Wow.
Hopefully your knee pads and everything are clean the night before, and I'm very picky about that. I make sure I do that like on Tuesday when I get home. But we'll land in a city, depending upon where and location, and have the match or have the drive. And then after, we have anywhere from like a 2 to 5 hour drive sometimes a night to get to the next show, to wake up, do the grind again, maybe gym, whatever, have the show. And then depending upon the city, have the same drive to do it until we get to TV, which is where we all shine on Mondays, to either I usually catch the earliest flight out of whatever city, but depending upon weather or whatever it is, try to get home on a Tuesday and then do it again Friday morning. Yeah,
what a grind.
Or if we have a tour, so everyone calculates close to 300 days on the road a year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So learning how to keep your routine in normal land is like very important, like.
What types of measures do you take to make sure you have routines in normal land?
I'm an organized mess in a sense, but when it comes to like gear is the most important, because I can't leave without my gear, like ever. So I make sure I have enough gear packed for or cleaned at least for a month out or 3 months out. You have to have a lot of gear, but it's like when I come home, I dump one gear and put the new bag of gear for the next week in, change over a little bit of toiletries, but we always have 2 of everything, so you can turn over that luggage really quick, because sometimes you only have like a day or half a day, or sometimes I've landed and had to fly out the same day. It really depends on, but luckily for new technology, like we have this talent app, which at first we were like, oh, this is so annoying, another app that you can't remember the password, but it has our schedule on there where we can see it all planned out, instead of kind of going, because it used to be very old school. We'd go to work, and if your name was on this list in the locker room Monday at TV, then you had to work that weekend. But if it wasn't on the list, then okay, maybe you didn't have to work. But then maybe there's a huge possibility that you have to go to work anyway, because we always joke about cards subject to change. It changes all the time, but that's definitely something that I'm grateful experiencing, because it helps me like kind of go with the flow more instead of trying to control everything. Right. I'd probably lose my mind if I were like on that level, Damn,
that's nuts. 300 days on the road. I can't imagine.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Oh my gosh.
You guys can handle it. I bet if you pick a weekend, you guys can come on the road with us for sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That is a great idea.
We could pick a cool area like Portland. We're going,
Yes.
or California.
Or
Florida Loop.
And then Jenna and I get in the ring with you, right?
Yeah, tag team.
And we start backbending all over the place. Oh my God, I can't wait.
See, don't offer stuff like this because we take people up on this.
Come on. Yeah.
And that's how Hurley and Jenna joined WWE.
Sorry, library. We're going on the road.
Bye.
I know. Yeah. That would be so, or at least sometime. You definitely have to come to a couple of events.
Oh my
Please.
gosh.
Anytime.
We would love
Yes,
that.
yes.
Oh, that would be so fun. That's crazy. Oh, we also keep saying that you're our first guest that's ever been in a video game. Is this a weird subject for you?
I have been in a video game, but I haven't played me, but that's really sweet.
That's funny. What is it? I don't know. So you've never played but you've seen your character.
I guess, okay, let me go back. I've played it in like the gimmicks behind, that's a wrestling term you should know, gimmicks. Okay. Everything's a gimmick. Like this pen's a gimmick, this table's a gimmick, this is a gimmick, you're a gimmick.
Oh, okay.
I'm a gimmick.
Okay.
Gimmick is infinite, like whatever. But yeah, I played like just kind of like did controller mess in like the tryout zone that we would have, but I've yet to actually play it on a system because I haven't had a TV in 8 years. So I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna like call my friends. Hey, do you have that? No, it's PlayStation this year. No, not Xbox. No, PlayStation. You know, but none of my friends really have any game systems. You know, but anyway, but yeah. So it's been that's interesting. I don't know. I guess that concept hasn't really wrapped around my head. I would like try it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're in a video game. Who could say that? That's so crazy. And you've also been on a reality show.
Yeah. Total Divas.
Yes. Everyone's seen it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a total different. That was my I'm a young girl and I still like to go out mode. I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Like when I hear little girls are like, oh yeah, my mom let me watch it. I'm like,
oh no.
I was like, I promise I am not crazy, okay?
Yeah. Man, I can't imagine. Was it weird just having cameras like follow you around or?
Yeah, it was definitely strange, but they're really good at keeping your not so much as your privacy, but they kind of understand personal space. So I guess it's not as annoying because we're also discussing subjects that are going on with us. The only thing I think is different is that you end up spending way more time with these females than you would usually on a regular work week because we have to film together so much, you know?
Yeah, right.
I know.
It's just like an extra addition to your already crazy schedule.
Yeah. I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Field trip.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, but it was weird watching myself back only because first of all, I'm like exploring the last of my 20s in public, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, oh God.
Yeah.
You know?
I hate hearing myself on this podcast. You know, I can't imagine seeing myself on national television.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're brave for doing that.
You're brave.
Big fan. And we talked a little bit about this in the beginning, but what's next for you? So, you know, you've been doing this for 13 years. What's coming up next?
Man, obviously I love to dream, but I have got this really huge dream that I'm really focused on. And I would love to create like a fashion filmography agency here. Kind of the same as like Show Studio or Made to Measure. It's like, I kind of take it as like a designer's just all out there kind of gumbo collage blah, together video. It's just to me so visually entertaining and just so cool. I would just love to create videos. I want to do film, but in between now and then, that might be, I don't know, a million years from now, but one of these days. But I'm interested in starting a local zine here to bring like all these empowered women and all the girls that I know locally that inspire me together to have like a community to sit and chat. Like, I mean, I know you have a zine.
Yes. Fellow Zinesters unite. I'm so excited about your zine.
Yeah, Hurley used to do like zine workshops here at the library.
Yeah, I've taught zine workshops. So.
I'm so excited for Friends, Hurley. I can't. Like, I'm so excited. I had no idea.
I am freaking out.
No, you're freaking out. I'm freaking out.
Excited.
I finally put the name together. It's called Ram Brand, and it's gonna.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, the acronym is gonna be resistant or resilience among mankind. We're kind of playing with it.
I love it. Womankind.
Exactly. It's kind of just collecting the tools that we've gained in our experiences collectively as females together and making almost a handy book, and then it's gonna be fun because some of the merch that I'm hoping or that I'm getting developed has these underwear with ram heads on it, and so when you have challenging moments, you put your big girl rammies on and you go on with the world, But then also my passionate part or my most favorite product would be the denim because it'll be for girl of every size. A lot of the girls I envision wearing them would be the girls with more curves, the more modern day girl that's not. I mean, and the girl that's has a really tall inseam and still wants to wear some heels, myself, that I can't find, but before they're ankle beaters, So, but just some comfy denim, just things that girls can be comfy in. But each denim is gonna have its own story of the female persona of for one, I have a moment where there was a moment where my mom was going through a challenging point in her life, and it was hard for me to see her go through that, but have to know she had to go through that as an adult because I was realizing that I was enabling and also giving too much of my energy so that I had no energy to focus on myself. So just kind of coming up with these semi-fictional stories of these girls, almost like the Babysitter's Club or situations where each denim can almost how they say you haven't walked in these shoes, but if there's collectively a pair of denim or a style that we've all can kind of relate to.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
We're kind of trying to piece this together. So that's cool. Kind of the project in motion.
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so many solid ideas. You're already putting the wheels in motion. That's so exciting.
That is really,
And
Hurley and I are so excited to help and be a part. And
obviously.
I am so grateful to have met you, girl. I am seriously so happy that we're friends. I was
she said it. We're friends.
We're friends. It's on tape.
Yes. Yay. We're so friends. Thank you, girls.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, we have one last question for you, and we guess you didn't always want to be a WWE diva. So we want to know, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, like I said earlier, I want to be an ophthalmologist, but
when you were a kid, did you have a?
I always wanted to do something in entrepreneurship because I can remember when we moved to Florida around 5 or 6, always dragging my mom's office supplies in the driveway and chalking out a desk, hiring and firing my sister all the time. That was the only thing I wanted to do. Whereas my sister was she'd play teacher or play cook or mom. Mm-hmm. There was never, it was always something in office somewhere, something to help people, something with humanity.
Oh, man. Well, that's the next step. That's what you're doing. You're fulfilling that dream. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, we have one more thing we want to do with you if you have time.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we have this new segment that we've been doing called Renew or Return.
Some are gonna keep it, some are gonna drop it.
And producer Brian is going to give us a couple topics, and we'll say if we would renew it, we like it, we would check it out again, or if we want to return it, we didn't like it. Okay? So, all right, producer Brian's going to start us off.
Okay. Yeah, me and Jenna are sharing a mic on this. So there's going to be a little back and forth. All right, so with you here today, we're going to do wrestling-themed renew or return. So first up, we are going to say renew or return wrestling mask, like Rey Mysterio style wrestling mask.
Yeah, Nacho Libre.
Renew, because you never know when you need that.
True. Yeah.
Nacho Libre, great reference. One of my favorite movies.
My God, that is so funny.
I loved it. One of my friends dressed up as Nacho Libre in high school. Laura, if you're listening, it was a fabulous costume. She had a flesh colored t-shirt and like put a pillow for the belly.
Oh
Jack
my
Black.
God. Yes.
amazing.
Renew wrestling.
Renew
masks.
for
Wait,
sure.
so you said you never know when you're gonna need one.
Yeah.
Has there been a scenario where you found yourself needing a wrestling mask?
Well, the thing is I have one in my closet.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I didn't even think about bringing it when y'all come over.
Yeah,
You'll
because
see.
we're friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But my boyfriend and his friends or his bandmates, they will come over and they will just put it on and then walk around. That's like their
Perfect
thing.
scenario.
Yeah, they're just like that thing. It's just so funny out of anything. So I'm like, you know what? That's why I'm like, you never know when you're gonna need it, because I know a lot of people that would probably pull it out any time of the day.
That's a party trick.
Yeah.
Just pull out your wrestling
Yeah.
match.
I'm totally renewing that one.
sure.
Yeah, Renew.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, folding chairs.
Oh, I return.
Oh yeah.
Not a fan.
Oh,
Like,
well,
as a gimmick.
as a gimmick. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'd probably return though, because they look so big. I have not personally been hit with a folding chair.
Oh good.
No, but it just looks so violent. I would return it. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah,
I've never been hit with them
I'm
either.
gonna
But
return those. Those can
You know,
stay.
though, it looks really satisfying to hit your worst enemy with one of those. So I'm gonna renew.
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
renew, not because I would be hit with one, but because I would be doing.
good thinking.
Oh my goodness.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next up is my childhood idol of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Renew or return.
Renew.
I like, but in my like for some reason I said renew for sure, but I almost would want to return them just because it was like, I know it's so left field just for the shock value, but no, I would definitely renew him because he's definitely still like making some headway and doing some awesome things. I'm like, heck yeah,
I know. His life after wrestling has done him well.
yes,
know.
right.
You know?
Aging well, moisturizes,
Oh.
still sweet, still nice.
Yeah. Gets in the gym
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
hours.
yeah.
He's got a lot of like shea butter in his medicine cabinet
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
know.
is moisturized.
He should have his own line of shape.
I would
And,
so buy
and
it.
shaving cream.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
his head shaving.
Like a nice balm, like like a head mask,
Like a wax.
Right.
like a wax.
All right, let's do one more. What would you say, renew or return? Royal Rumble.
Renew.
This just happened
on
recently?
Sunday. Yeah, I was number 18.
So tell it for the listeners. Not because we
Yeah.
obviously know.
Yeah,
So-
I learned this morning for the record. What
I'm
Royal Rumble
like,
is.
I'm
I had
so
no
impressed
idea.
that you guys did your homework. That's insane. I'm like so honored.
Well, Brian
Thank you.
helped us a lot. He
Yeah.
knew all the
Thank
wrestling
you,
terms.
Brian.
Yeah.
Big WWE fan.
Yes. Rumble was Royal Rumble was awesome. We did it in Phoenix, and we did it at the it was a huge stadium, and this is the first Rumble I've been back in on that scale, because last year in rehearsal I was thrown out of the ring and I broke my tailbone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And that was like my first injury my whole career. So it's like, kind of comical. I broke my, butt.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what'd you do on your time off? Yeah, I sat on my broke butt and my donut. So now I joke,
Not
I'm like, no more
enjoyable.
carbs. But this year we performed in front of 43,000 and some change.
Wow.
And it's a huge pay-per-view because it leads to who's going to be the star of WrestleMania, which is in it seems like it's just in probably 8 weeks. That's our end of the year kind of big blow off Super Bowl. So there's 30 female opponents or male run into the ring, and it's like an over the top challenge, and we have entertaining dips and stuff. I play this character on there as well, so I'm also a crazy character. So I have this hat that comes out, and so we planned one thing where one of my opponents took my hat because no one's seen anyone put it on other than me, and then she started stomping on it. And it's funny because my hat designer's here locally, and she was watching the pay-per-view, but I didn't tell her about the girl stomping on it. So the girl and I really talked about destroy the hat, make it. But when she kicked it the first time, she's like, what? It was made out of steel. The thing didn't even break.
Very well made.
Went. Everyone was like, what did you put in your hat? And I'm like, as I'm watching her do it, and I'm looking at the thing's not even broken. I'm like,
Don't know.
The hat's looking at her back like, yeah, that didn't even hurt. Like, didn't even like destroy it. So I was like, oh, all right.
well made.
There you go. Yeah.
So cool. Well, that was so fun. That was the first time we've ever done like a segment with anyone before.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
blast. Yeah.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had such a blast.
Jenna, are you like a wrestling fan?
I was as a kid. I remember watching this with Scotty growing up. Like we used to always watch wrestling matches. That and bull riding. I feel like we talked about this before.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we watched professional bull riding, NASCAR, and WWE. I think when I first started watching it was WWF.
Oh, right.
Before they had changed to WWE.
I thought they were two different things. So WWF became WWE.
Yeah, so it was the Worldwide like Wrestling Federation, and then the Wildlife, what is it? The World Wildlife Federation sued them, so they had to change the name.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they were using the same acronyms.
They battled it out in the ring.
So now it's WWE instead
Gotcha.
of F.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What would your wrestling name be? Like we have Alicia Fox today.
The
which
Foxy one.
She told us how she got her name. What do you think your name would be?
I don't know. Instantly, I don't know why, but Oprah popped in my mind just now.
You don't know why. Of course you know why, because Oprah's always on your mind.
It's
So would you
true.
just be Oprah?
I don't know, like the big O or something.
Yeah. I love it.
Something with Oprah. I don't know. What would you be?
It's hard to pick.
Yeah.
I think my wrestling name would be Producer Brian.
That is a great name. But then what would Producer Brian's name be?
He would also be Producer Brian, and that's what we're fighting about in the ring.
Another name battle.
Yeah, name battle.
That could be it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Great name.
So fun.
Yeah.
We loved Alicia. She was the best, and she lives here in Jacksonville, which is so cool. And she's also like trying to do some awesome things here in town locally, which we love. And we're obviously, as you could tell, our best friends now.
Yeah. We're
We're
definitely hanging out.
yeah, I can't wait to hang out with her. So fun.
Make sure you follow Alicia on Instagram at the Foxy One, and that's Foxy with 2 X's.
Indeed. You can also see her all over the Teletube. And this is hilarious.
I'm sorry, we can't let that slide. Why are you calling it the Teletube?
I don't know. I got nervous. We'll just call it the
But it's true. She is all over the Teletube.
the television. You can also check out a bunch of okay. Whatever, you guys. The Teletube is an awesome term.
You have to include that as a blooper. It's
No.
staying in.
As I was saying, we have a whole WWE DVD collection at the library, which I think is awesome. Every time I walk by it on the second floor, I like chuckle to myself. It's something that's awesome.
Yeah, so come check it out, y'all.
Watch on your Teletube.
While you're at it, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media at Jack's Library.
Indeed. Make sure you come get a library card as well so you
Please.
can check out all the awesome stuff. And I don't know, say hey to us maybe.
Yeah.
If you're at the main library.
Absolutely.
Give us a call. Make sure you subscribe to our show so you don't miss a beat.
Yep, and we'd love it if you rated us and left us a review.
Thank you so much.
This podcast was produced by Brian Thomas, aka BT, aka
Producer Brian.
which is my wrestling name. Goodbye.